Hey guys, Mr. Happy here, back with part 5 of my sightseeing log guide. We're more than halfway done. This video will cover a visual guide for all of the details you will need for vistas 41 through 50. That includes the locations, weather, time of day, and emotes required in order to get them. So let's get right into it. Luckily, this guide starts with a really easy one, number 41, which is in the central shroud at X16Y22. All you gotta do is get on this little tree bridge right here between these two, I guess, land masses, I'll call them. Once you're there, it just needs to be between noon and 5 p.m., fair weather, and due/lookout. 42 is also a really easy one in the central shroud. Just head over to 2618 and all you got to do is get up on this little central portion of the railing of this bridge and bam, you have your vista. Now I got this one at around 11 a.m. Eorzean time. I don't know when it ends, but I wasn't able to get it before 11 a.m. So I'm willing to say it's between 11 a.m. and noon. It may be a little bit later than that, but I can tell you that the weather was clear and I needed to do /lookout in order to get it. Now 43 is one that's easy to reach, but it may be a little annoying once you get there, as you can tell in the video. It's in the Sylph-lands at X20Y10, and you have to kill some of these enemies. I mean, they just get really annoying while you're waiting for this vista. But once you're there, it needs to be between 6 p.m. and 5 a.m. Eorzean time. The weather needs to be thunder and do /lookout. Now, number 44 is going to take you to Buscaroon Struthers in the South Shroud. In case you don't know, that's at X17Y20. And you're actually going to need to get onto the balcony of the building. Very simply, just follow what I'm doing here. You jump onto these logs, jump onto this little rock fence thing, whatever you want to call it. Then from there, jump onto the awning of the building, and from the awning, jump onto the balcony. Now, this one does have a semi-rare condition, not as bad as 18, but it needs to be thunderstorms, and it needs to be between 8 a.m. and noon. And once you're there, just do /lookout. Now for 45, while you're in South Shroud, just run all the way to the south part of the South Shroud, south of Camp Tranquil. And you're going to come to this building right here, surrounded by these Coral Claw enemies. Once you're here, all you need to do is walk up, jump onto the little ledge right here, and walk forward. Camera angle's a little bit weird in this one, but this is where your vista is going to be, basically. Once you're here, it needs to be between 8 a.m. and noon. It needs to be clear outside, and then you can do /lookout. Once you're done with that one, teleport over to Quarry Mill, and the next one is actually in Earth's Gift. It's in case you don't know, that's X33Y23, and it's just on the little bank on the side right here. No fancy jumping or anything to get to this one. Once you're there, it needs to be foggy, and it needs to be between noon and 5 p.m. Eorzean time. Just do /lookout for this one as well. Thank goodness we didn't need hopelessness for this one. Now 47 is actually in Quarry Mill, so again, you could just teleport right there. It's at 2521 in case you need a reference, and it's actually on the chimney of the southwest house inside of Quarry Mill. Once you're on top of this chimney, just make sure it's between 5 a.m. and 8 a.m. Weather needs to be fair, and do /lookout. Now the last three for this guide are going to be in the North Shroud, and number 48 is one of the most frustrating ones on the entire list. Not because the weather conditions are particularly hard, and not even because there's some super difficult jumping. There is a single jump you need to do for number 48. So anyway, it's at X18Y19, and all you need to do is get up onto that middle log. And in order to do that, you need to jump from this log to the middle log. I don't even know what advice to give to get onto this middle log. It just takes me, it took me 15 minutes to do it here. It took me 15 minutes to do it the first time. I am not a master of this jump. The best advice I was given by the person who got up there first among my group of sightseeing friends is that he said as soon as his chocobo began dropping from the top point of the log is when he jumped. And I did actually use that advice in order to get up there my first time. It didn't take too long after he told me that, but that is the best advice I can imagine to give you for number 48. Once you're on top of that middle log, you better make sure it's between noon and 5 p.m. The weather is fair, and do /lookout, because the last thing you want to do is get up there and not get credit for it. Number 49, thankfully, is a lot easier to get to. Basically, it's over by the entrance to the second coil of Bahamut, down by where that fate is for all of those golems. The exact position is actually between 15 and 1631. Just move around this little ledge you see right here, and you should find the vista eventually. It needs to be nighttime, so it needs to be between 4 p.m. and midnight. It needs to be clear outside, and then do /lookout. And finally, number 50 is another one that's not so bad to reach. All you need to do is head west of Fallguard Float, and the exact position is going to be X15Y27. Now, it's actually on the roots of this big tree stump that you see sticking out of the ground, but the roots are hanging above ground. So what you need to do is fall off of this little cliff right here and land on the roots, and then very slowly make your way towards the very edge of the roots as you see me doing here. Once you're there, make sure it's between 8 a.m. and noon. The weather needs to be overcast, and do /lookout. That's it for this guide, guys. Hopefully I'll have 51 to 60 done soon enough to get you guys out there and getting you towards your Apkallu minions. Anyway, like, favorite, subscribe, and share for the video. Be sure to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, and follow me on Twitch, where I do live stream Final Fantasy XIV. And until next time, guys, take care.